Hello everyone, Linda Israel here. The scent of the day is spiced coffee. This is a soy wax tart that you can get in my JIC my JIC website. There's a link in my description. Here's a ring that I got out of them. A tart or a candle. Today I'm going to work on some artist trading cards that I plan to give away as part of the CCBRAK, Canvas Corp Brands Random Act of Kindness. This is an event that is happening on I believe it's the 19th of the month. It's either the 19th or the 17th. I don't remember which day it is. Anyhow, there will be lots of posting on social media by all of the Canvas Corp group. The idea is we're going to make pieces of art and leave it for people to find and see if they go on to social media and say that they found it. We'll find out. So I'm going to use some of the Canvas Corp brands products. I've got some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mists. I have some Seven Gypsies, I believe this is Seven Gypsies paper. This is Canvas Corp Brands paper. I have some Canvas Corp Brands tissue paper, and then I have a piece of cardstock from my stash. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this tissue paper and adhere it to this piece of cardstock. I've got some liquid matte medium here. I'm just going to open this up and glue it down. So I've got a foam brush here. This is just going to be a background, so I'm not really worried about how perfect this is. Just trying to get it on the piece of paper because I plan on cutting this up into artist trading card size. This is an old foam brush and it's falling apart. I think it's time for a new one. I'm going to dry this with my heat tool so I can move on to the next step. I've laid down a towel on my work surface here since this is bigger than my spray box, because the next step is I want to spray with some Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist and do some texture and whatnot on here, and I didn't want to make a big mess on my table that I have to clean up. This way I can just wrap up the towel and throw it in the washer later. I've got some texture paste, lightweight spackling. I've been using this on some of my artwork because it's cheap. I've got a couple of stencils here. This one is by Tim Holtz. It's a little honeycomb. I'm just going to add a few pieces of texture here and there. Again, I'm going to end up cutting this up, so I'm not really worried about where it's placed. Just adding some here and there. I've got some punchinella. It's just what they call sequin waste. Use my heat tool to dry the texture paste so that I can use the sprays next. I've got several colors of Glimmer Mist here. Looks like I've got red chilies and cork. I have Dijon and tattered leather, as well as iridescent gold. And I'm just going to spray these in random places on this paper and see what happens. I think this is going to make some cool backgrounds for the artist trading cards. I'm going to set this aside. With my Tim Holtz die that is called Butterfly Duo. I don't know if you can see those got little butterflies there. I also have the embossing folder for the Butterfly Duo. I die cut a couple of the pieces out of the mask and then out of the little license plates. I also had some Canvas Corp cork that I die cut. And I have some of the negatives that I saved. And then I also die cut just some plain chipboard. So I'm going to lay these out here and spray some of them with the Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist so that I can use these on my artist trading cards. I've got my Brutus Monroe Detail Ink in black, and what I'm going to do is give some highlights to the texture because I embossed some of these butterflies. So I want those to stand up just a little bit. The distressing tool wasn't giving me enough color coverage, so I'm taking the pad directly to the embossed areas, and that seems to be giving me the coverage that I want. Got my paper cutter out. I'm going to trim off the excess edges here and then start cutting this down to be artist trading card size. So an artist trading card is 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I want to cut these to approximately, let's do it this way. Let's trim off this edge as well. So I'm going to trim 3.5 inches strips and then go back and cut those down to 2.5 inches. Now these have all been trimmed down and they're ready to start decorating. So I've got a few of these ready. I'm just going to start adding my butterflies and making the embellishments however I want them to look on my cards. I've got some black acrylic paint, and I'm going to get a little paintbrush here, and I'm just going to paint around the butterfly so it will stand out. I've just got a little palette here. Some gold acrylic paint here. I'm just going to go in and add some touches of gold here and there. I have this little box that I use. I keep a bunch of pre-stamped, pre-printed little words in. So I thought what I would do is find a few in here that might work. How about believe? Alright, so I'm going to alter these to be not so stark white. I think what I'll do is I'll spray them with the Dijon. So I'm going to place these in my spray box. Give them a little spritz. Now they're not so stark white. I've got some jute I think I can use to make maybe a little bow. Let's see how a little bow looks. Oh, something like that maybe. I'm going to go around the edges with the detail ink on these. I've turned my hot glue gun on. I think it's hot enough now. I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue and glue down the bow. And then glue down the word. I'm going to do that on each of the butterflies. I've got some iridescent gold glimmer mist. I want to spritz these again just to give them some more glimmer. So I really want these to sparkle. I'll set these aside to dry for a moment. I have some backs that I've cut. Should have 6 here. Years ago, online, I was a member of a couple of artist groups, and we did a lot of trading online. We would send packages back and forth and envelopes back and forth, and it was random act of kindness. And so we would stamp our envelopes and cards with a stamp. And so my father-in-law back then had a rubber stamp business, and he made this stamp per my request, and I thought it would be only perfect for me to use it on these cards. So I'm going to stamp each of the back of the cards with that random act of kindness. And then I had these letters that are from my memory makers. They're magnetic, and so I put CCBRAK. So I'm going to stamp that on here as well. And I'm going to put the hashtag and say let's put Instagram and Twitter, and then I will sign it. And we'll see if anyone will come online and come back to this hashtag and say that they got one. Okay, so I'm going to stamp all the backs of these, and then I will adhere them to the fronts of the cards. I'm just going to use white glue and glue the backs to the fronts. One final touch, I'm going to go around the whole card with my Brutus Monroe detail ink on the edges. So here are my first 6 that I'm going to have as my CCBRAK that I will do my Canvas Corp Brands Rake, the random act of kindness that'll go out around, it's either the 17th or the 19th. I'll have the details in the description box below. Play along by coming to the Canvas Corp Brands Coalition or Collaborative and check out the group. I'll put the link in the description as well. Anyone is welcome to join the group and check out what we're doing over there and see all the Canvas Corp brands of products, the 7 Gypsies, the Tattered Angels, and of course Canvas Corp brands papers and supplies and canvas, and there's all kinds of stuff that we have. I hope you enjoyed this little video of making these mixed media trading cards that'll go out as a random act of kindness. These will be left in places. I think I may go to places like Starbucks, or maybe go to a drugstore and leave it, or maybe I'll go to the hospital and leave it somewhere. So I'll just leave these in different places. I may even leave a little note that says, "Take me, I'm free, and come online and check me out." And maybe people will come in and see the CCB rake on the back, and we'll look that up and then say, "Hey, I got one of these cards today." So we'll see if this kind of gets a buzz and do something nice for someone else for the day. Thanks very much for watching. Check out the description box for more information. Share this video, like this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Bye.